Um, if you're familiar with Genius, today we're all about helping you create content for selling your products on social media, right? We give you some tools to, of course, do some stuff beyond social media. Like we have a great VSL sections where you can create email campaigns. You can create sort of VSL scripts and things like that. But we're really mainly focused on organic social media posting, right? So all our AI, all of our features are today designed for that particular aspect, right? So with the new year, I'm sure some of you that are into AI have seen that the new craze is something that is called AI agents. So for those of you who aren't familiar, AI agents are basically not too well, they are very different from, let's say, what you're used to in, let's say, a ChatGPT, because what they do is not only you can talk to a chat agent or to a copilot, but that copilot, let's call it this way, will take actions, right? So to give you an example, you might be able to ask to an agent, hey, find me all of the leads on LinkedIn that would be interested into my skincare product. I'm just making an example here, or into my digital course that talks about X, Y, and Z. And what the agent does is that it takes your request and is gonna, for example, search on LinkedIn, save all of that information on a Google Sheet, or maybe you have an HubSpot, or maybe you have ClickUp or whatever where you hold your contacts. It's gonna hold them all for you there, and then it's going to just send you the link. Hey, I've collected all of these leads. I've put them on our HubSpot. You can go and check them out. And maybe later you can even ask it, hey, could you send a message to all of those leads in my behalf? So there is that, but there are also other use cases, right? Some people like to use agents for stuff like financial tracking. Maybe you have a business and you just want to know how much you've been spending. You can connect an agent to QuickBooks, right? Or to tools like that hold that information. So an agent in general is an AI that takes information from one piece of other software by integrating to it, and in return, or more pieces of software, and it sort of integrates it into what you're doing, into your other software, or it gives you responses via, for example, just simply via chat. Hey, I've analyzed all of the financials report of 2024. You're doing well. And this is what the items you should be cutting on, for example. So where we're moving with Genius is we're still going to have our offering where you can go and create amazing social media content. But we also wanted to design something that was a little bit more for power users. So a lot of you, maybe the ones of you who came, for example, from AppSumo, were like, oh, it would be great if Genius could integrate with HubSpot, WhatsApp, TikTok, and whatever else, right? ManyChat. I think I've seen Zapier, right? Google Drive, Google Sheet. So what I'm about to show you, which is our latest version of Genius, we're not only doing that, so allowing you to create a series of agents that really take multiple actions on your behalf. So you can literally automate a business with these. But we are also going to give you the opportunity to take that and use it to, sorry, and use it to create your own, let's call it AI workforce, right? Or your own AI co-pilots, or whatever you want to call them, train it on all of your knowledge or all of your business automations, and allow them to package them into your own white label version of Genius. Meaning today there is Genius that is designed for social media selling, but in future you're going to have a Genius that is going to be all of the building blocks that you need to build your own agent and monetize those agents. So potentially resell them to other people as your own agents. Because, the reality is we at Genius can be good in just a fraction of things, right? Maybe you have customers today that are in a particular niche. Maybe you yourself offer courses, um, and you want to be having your own agent train on all of your knowledge, right? Or taking information from all of your publications, right? So we are going to be allowing you to have that community, to build that community yourself, and also have it so that you can actually either build agents for them and so monetizing, because every business is different. Every business is going to have different integrations, different needs. So we are going to give you the building blocks that you're going to need to go to those businesses and go, hey, actually, I can build you an agent without writing a single line of code. So let me just walk you through it real quick. And we're going to have time for questions at the end, because I know there will be plenty. But let me just share my screen. And I might be stop sharing, start sharing, stop sharing again at different points, just because of the fact that I have multiple windows. But this is what we call the Genius AI dashboard. So this is very different from what you're used to. This is a dashboard that is designed for admins, right? So this is where you can manage the users that have access to your AI agents. You can also decide to use those AI agents for yourself. Create those AI agents. So you can create unlimited AI agents. We are not going to be giving you a limit. You can preload your own products. So let's say you still love the social selling aspect of Genius, but you want to just have your products already preloaded and empower an entire sales force on an entire sales team. You can do that through the product section. We have the prompt library. If you're familiar with Genius AI, you know that on the left sidebar, I can probably just pull out the current Genius. So I'll be switching from the old Genius to the new Genius, just so that I can explain you this part. Let me just log in into my account real quick. So yeah, I'm sorry for that. So if you're familiar with the current Genius, there is these sections with a lot of post ideas, right? If you're familiar with what we're doing here, we have the build your brand, post your product, talk to people, and business and marketing tools. And this has been designed by us over the years by really investigating what worked well uh, for our users, and improving and reiterating over those prompts, right? But now with the what we call our white label approach and our building block approach, we're going to be able to give you the ability to create your own prompt library. So you'll be able to come in here and say, actually, I want to create a prompt for my community. Actually, I don't like build your brand, post your product, talk to people. I just want to create my own Genius, which is going to have, maybe it's going to be designed for the automotive space, and it's going to have a new category called, let's call it something along the lines of great conversation starters, whatever. And it's going to have the icon of, well, it's a speedometer, makes sense. So I can come in here, and then I'll have my little category, and I have my add prompt and my subcategory section, right? So I can play around here, put my prompt, decide how the structure of all of this is gonna be, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna have to actually now enter the other Genius. When I'm gonna be going to the left side, I'm gonna be having the new section, great conversation starters. So this really allows you to create your own customized offering, right? You don't have to be using all of the building blocks. You can even decide, actually, I want to be deploying this in my entire team and have a lot of agents that are going to automate their own business. But we are going to be one of the few platforms that are actually going to allow you to monetize on those agents. And I'm going to teach you everything, and I was going to teach you how this is changing as we go into the agent section that I'm not showing you, because it's going to be the heaviest one of them all. Of course, there are other aspects that you might want to change of Genius, right? the name. You might, you might want to change the logo. You might want to change the icon. You might want to send them to your own documentation. You might want to send them to your own domain. Instead of genius.ai, you might want to have mybeautifulbusiness.ai, whatever, or mybeautifulaiproduct.ai. That makes no sense. But anyway, you can change the appearance, which means you can change how the on page looks like. You can have an on page that focuses on presenting your agents, which is a new front page that wasn't existing before. But also we have one focusing specifically on products and one focusing specifically on social media. So if you do want to, let's say, Genius is very one size fits all in terms of we try to do TikTok, we try to do Facebook, we try to do Instagram. Let's say that you want to create something specific on a framework that you already have and you want to really focus it, let's say, on TikTok. All of the building blocks we're giving you, and you will just come here and say, okay, I wanted to use the on page for social, but then I'm going to have all of my prompts and all of my agents trained specifically on getting TikTok viral content, for example. You can change colors. So if you're not a fan of the purple, you can go all red. I'm gonna do it. It's not gonna change immediately. It's just gonna require a little bit of a refresh, but I'm going to show you later how that looks like. You can change all features. So because we really want to give you the opportunity when you're creating this more business type of or professional version of Genius, where you can potentially offer a white label experience to others, we are going to allow you to enable features or disable features depending on really what you would want to resell. What would you want to offer to others? So if Genius is really focused on social selling, right? So it has a really heavy product teaching on the My Product section, right? We have the My Product section where you go, you click what do you want to sell. You can disable all of that and just decide, I want to focus on copy. I want to focus on fixing the problem. I don't want Genius to be trained on any product. I just want it to be trained on the personality and or I don't want to even have it trained on the personality, right? You can do all of that. You want to disable the CRM features because you want to connect it to HubSpot, you can. Do you want to use disable the media creation features? You can. Do you want to disable the trending now? You can do that too. We also allow you to pretty much customize the email template. So when you invite someone into your version of Genius, and I'm going to teach you how that is going to look like, you're going to be able to actually come here and say, actually, I want the email to say, to have a little bit more of my tone of voice, or I have a template that I want to use. You can come here and customize it. We have the custom text, billing, and custom domain. I won't show you those, not because I'm afraid of the billing, of showing the billing part. It's not fully ready yet, and I don't want it to crash it on me. So that's basically what this does, right? And if I go now, I'll show you what we've just done, right? You can still see, I just opened an incognito window. I just want to make sure that you can still see it, right?
Yeah, it looks like we'll be able to.
Okay. Okay, just give me 1 second. Oh no, I cannot do incognito because otherwise this is gone. It's gonna ask me my password and I don't. Well, no, you know what? It's fine. Just give me 1 second. So now we've made some changes to the aspect, right? So if I go here and go continue with Google, probably gonna ask me 100 verifications, but should be fine. YouTube. And I'm just showing you this part for us. Oh God, let me see what's up. Because I have to open YouTube and I think I fell asleep yesterday with a YouTube video open, so I just blasted. Okay, so let's see. Now this should open in a second. So you can see now the colors have just changed, right? And that's because I've changed them in the front. We were using blue and red, red and blue and red. And these have changed in the UI. I can change logos. I can change every text on the platform can also be changed. Actually, we give you that ability. Just again, in case you really want to create a custom experience. So with the white labeling out of the way, So white labeling is not mandatory. You don't have to use it to see the next features that we are about to show you. But I just really wanted to cover the aspect of we've done a survey to which a lot of you have replied on, which is really great because it helps us shape the software in which you asked for some features, right? If you took the survey, um, some of you have answered, hey, we want to customize the personality test, and that is all possible. You can customize it. We want to be able to preload our own products or train our own AI based on documents, based on PDF. We want to be able to change the color. We want to be able to change the logo and so on. So we've packed all of those features into these white label slash what we call these agency update, right? So if you're looking to create, either you're looking to create your own AI SaaS offering, but maybe based on frameworks that you are an expert of, whether you want to create AI agents that you're going to be selling to others that are going to automate other businesses, because maybe you have that angle of, oh, I'm really good at AI. I'm really good at prompting. I know that I could probably automate a lot of businesses and make sort of evolve into some sort of AI marketing or AI consultant, not necessarily marketing, but AI consultant. If I had my own platform with my own logo and then have my agents in there and assign them to different companies, that would be cool. You can do all of these ingenious, and you'll also be able to manage your users directly in here. So that means adding users that you will be able to administrate, you will be able to email, you will be able to impersonate in case you want to manage their genius for them. That was also a feature that was asked from us, is that a few of you, even in the social selling genius, they have customers that have genius, but you don't want them to be sharing their credentials to you, or you just want to manage them without having to be dependent on them. We give you the possibility to just, with a click of a button, just go and impersonate a user. So you'll click here and it's going to open a section of you impersonating that user that is using Genius with you, essentially. This is, of course, only if they bought Genius through you, either because they bought it because you signed them up, or because maybe you invited them into your version. One thing you could really see these very similar to the Go High Level model, or very similar to Kajabi, where coaches invite their students into their own Kajabi, right? This is exactly the same thing, right? When you add the user, you'll be asked their email, their permission level, so they can be an owner, so they can have the same rights as you. You can be an admin, so they can manage everything, but they won't see the billing, the revenue. And I will talk about billing and revenue in a second. Or they can just be a user, meaning they're gonna be having access to the platform you're creating, but not to these menus that you see on the left side. Every time you will be adding a user, this will add a one user seat, which will have a cost. The cost that you see here is a placeholder, so don't take it as, oh, that's gonna be the cost. It's just we had to test our payment gateway. And the way this works, I'll show you later, is you can implement the creation of a user within any funnel that you have. Let's say you're using GHL today, and you want to have an offer page where after they finish their Go High Level information creates a user on Genius. You can do that. You already have an offering on your website. Maybe you have a WordPress site, you have a whatever site, or maybe you just have a Google Sheet with a bunch of information. You can basically come here, you can connect your Stripe, and basically a user gets created. It's super easy, so that basically you're making a profit from your user immediately, and on the back we're going to be taking whatever is going to be the cost per user seat. So with that said, this is not the big part of the update, I would say. I mean, it's big, I guess, because now we're really giving you the building blocks if you really want to create a custom Genius experience for your customers. Either that, or you are, an entrepreneur, an AI entrepreneur, or I want to be an AI entrepreneur, or an agency that really wants to consult other companies into assembling AI. This is the part that is going to allow you to white label it. But now we have to really give you the tools to, sort of some 2025 type of technology that really is going to allow you either to automate those businesses, to give to your customers free time, or to give to your own business free time, right? You might buy this for a team of 3 or 4 and just automate the task so everyone in that business can just go and do something else with their time, right? And that's what AI agents are really good about, right? So if you're familiar with AI, and I guess if you're here, you are. So far, AI has always been, I give you something and you give me text back, right? What changes with AI agents is that you can have that, and I'll show you how, but you can also have an AI that, again, takes action, like we were saying earlier. And we have a few integrations, well, that allow you to do all of this. So I'll really talk through that in a second. But you can host unlimited AI agents on Genius. So meaning you can have, you know, create one copilot for your users, you can, or for your company, you can, or for a company you're consulting, you can, or you can create 100, or you can create 1,000, or you can create 10,000. We don't have any limit on that. And we're not going to be applying any limit on that. So how does creating an agent work? I'll show you the simple one, but then I'm going to move into the one that is a little bit more complex. It's as simple as clicking create new agent. You put a name. Let's call it Sergio. Just it's fine. Sergio.ai2. I can give it an icon. Yeah, sure. Let's see what icon do I have that I can. My computer is extremely fast today. Okay, let's use this one. I don't think I can use that one. Let's use this one. It's okay. Next, you have to give to your AI a prompt. A system prompt, if you're not familiar, is what guides the AI's behavior in terms of output. Is not, well, it's important. It's really important because it really explains to your agent what it has to do, how it has to behave, etc. But you can also use the AI to create a system prompt. So I'll show you that part. Let's say you are Sergio.ai and you help with creating copy for Genius.ai based on the information you have about within your product. I can click here, generate a prompt, and the AI is going to just perfect it a little bit more for me. You can see that it already has improved a lot what I had written, and it has extended it to really just make me do something that it's worth doing. And then I can select a model. That's another thing. If you create a model on Genius, if you create an agent on Genius, we allow you to choose between GPT-4 O, which is the latest version, GPT-4 O Mini, Claude 3.5, either Sonnet or Haiku, and you can really decide which one you want to use. You don't have to stick within one, and we also are going to offer to your agent a few features that aren't available natively into those platforms that I'm going to talk about later. I can decide an intro message. Let's say, hey, I am Sergio.ai and I'm cool. And now you can see the factory is building our robot. And now we have our little AI. So when you have your agent, there are a few things that you can do, right? You can train its brain, which is something really cool, which what it does is basically the brain is the part of the AI that learns everything from documents, videos, etc. Right? So I can go here. I think I have a book about copywriting somewhere. No, I don't. I'm sure I do. Wait, give me just a second. I just have to find it. There you go. So I just click train AI on documents. And bam. So in a few minutes, in a process that takes a few minutes, I'm going to get an AI that is actually trained on this handbook, right? He's going to be able to reply questions on this handbook. So you can see here it's been added. And it says Sergio.ai2 is still learning this document. But once he learns it, he's going to be able to reply either any question about the document or just take knowledge from this document and just apply it consistently. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to show you what we call the playground. So with every agent you create on Genius, you can customize the look and feel. You can customize how it works. You can customize how it integrates in your funnel, what it does, etc., right? So look and feel is very easy. Here you get a little preview, which if you're familiar with Genius is pretty much our copilot. And you can decide to just ask me anything about copy, right? And he's going to immediately take the text showing you the preview we had here. You can add initial suggestions like, I want to write, and I'm just going to copy this here, or let's go, I want to write. And then you can also set a payment method. This is really cool. There are a few things that you can now do with these agents as well, right? Which is you can use them on Genius. So you can just have people come to the platform that you've just white label to experience these agents, or you can integrate them on your existing business, right? Or in your existing funnels. Maybe you have a funnel in which you're selling an agent and you want it to run in trial mode. What that means is the agent, it can be used for free, but for a limited amount of messages, and then it's going to ask for payment. I'll show you how that looks like in a second. Let's do free. And here you can put your Stripe payment link. I have one, and let's say, let's go buy it. It's going to be our pop-up text. So that means that once I send 3 messages, a pop-up like this is just going to appear, which is okay. And then you can also decide a few things. That's what I meant when I said those models just don't allow it by default. First is you can allow the agent to browse the web, meaning if it figures that the question that is being asked requires knowledge from the internet, is going to do that. This is something that GPT-4 via API, or when you create an assistant or anything, they doesn't do by default. So you're always going to get information that usually has a cutoff date of like October 2023, if I'm not mistaken. You can allow it to upload images. You can allow it to dictate to the agent. You can have the agent memorize previous conversation. So pretty much like what you're experiencing on Genius. Or you can read the personality, which, by the way, you can also customize the personality test if you're deciding that you want to apply this within your business. So I'm just gonna click save. I'm just gonna do this. Okay. Sorry for that. Let me do one thing. Let me enable these all. Okay. So now we have an agent, and we can decide to experience that agent directly on Genius. So if I'm a user, right, I would come, let's go in my incognito session. No, actually, let's go here. And I just refresh my page. And now on my Genius, I would have the AI that I just created. And I'll have the microphone icon that I just created, and I can ask, who are you? And it should know that it's Sergio.ai. Yeah, I'm Sergio.ai, an intelligent assistant specialized in creating compelling copy. My purpose is to analyze the information you provide in general. So it knows its purpose, it knows everything it has to do. And this is one way. If you're familiar with Genius, no change from when you're using Jetty. It's just that it's going to be specialized on what you specialize in it, based on copy, based on everything. I like this. You can use this if, again, you have either your team or your own business, just go on Genius. Or there is another way you can do this. You can embed this agent, right? And I'm going to show you a few ways you can do this. You can do this through an iframe. So if you're not familiar, an iframe is just a way of embedding content into another web page. So you come in here and you'll get a full page in which you just get Sergio.ai, right? You see here, we also have the suggestions that we created earlier. So if I go, I want to create an email, it's going to go, let me know the purpose, your target audience, any specific information. You see, it's already, because of the document that I gave it, it even just understood its purpose, right? I'm going to just write it a few messages because I want to also. So you can see that, okay. I think I had set a limit of 3, right? Let's see what happens. Yeah, you see, now it sort of went, okay, you can go buy it. This is great because if you can take this link, it requires no login, and you can have your agent just present it into your own web page. Maybe you have a landing page where you want people to engage with what you've created and then give them a link to buy it. Or in this case, if I click get started, I'll show you what happens. Because I put in my Stripe, it's just going to open me a Stripe session where I can just buy this for $1. And then it's going to just continue the session from where it left by and memorize everything. Or you can connect Stripe back to Genius and just let it have a user seat, just release a user seat. The other way you can implement this, and I'm going to show this to you not with, I'm going to show it to you with Peter's website. This is Peter's website. It's built in Webflow. So it's not built like on Genius or anything like that. It's just a natural standard Webflow website. What you can do, did I just close the, okay, no, I didn't. You can just click, you see here, I have this chat with Peter option. If I click here, this is Peter's agent, and he knows everything about, what Peter is all about. I can just go and click, oh, I want help building a successful VSL. Oh, in this case, it gives me the course because I already finished that. But you would click here, get started, and it would give me the link. But again, this is another way I can just integrate this. So imagine customer support. You can have these answer questions when your customers get to your landing page, or you can have it to support them during the payment process. That's another cool way that you can use these little agents, right? So yeah, I definitely did close the page. Sorry for that. So basically now, compared to what Ingenious, you had to experience everything with Ingenious, now you do have the opportunity to just bring it in any platform or anywhere you just want your agent to be, right? Now, what I've showed you is still a very simple, it's not even an agent, it's more a co-pilot, right? It's there, you embed it as a chatbot, it learns from a document, you can embed it on Webflow, you can embed it on any type of website, really, as long as we give you all of the code and you just have to copy paste it. So it's super easy. But we haven't shown you the cool part, right? I mean, I've been talking so heavily about taking leads from LinkedIn and sending them, or giving you financial information, or sending emails on your behalf. That's the other thing that agents can do, right? So, and in order to do that, I'm going to show you a little bit of a better example that I've created earlier, okay? So, which is what I call the director, which is it's pretty much my assistant at this point. This is an AI agent that is integrated with a little platform that is called Zapier. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Zapier, but it's a really, really cool platform. If you're not there and you have a business that is relying on tools like Airtable, HubSpot, Google Sheets, or anything like that, Zapier is a great way to connect those tools together and sort of extract information from, or pass information from one another. So if you're familiar with a loaner platform, we just make.com, it's very similar, right? So and Zapier is free to start. You can just subscribe to an account and you get a certain amount of what they call zaps. And that is exactly what you can do with Genius, right? But before I walk you through a zap and how it works, let me give you a really practical example, right? Let me just open my Slack. Okay, give me just 1 second. Perfect. So this is a Slack channel that I'll tell you what I've done, right? In Genius, my business use case is we are an AI company, and our main source of leads, I would say, right now is LinkedIn, right? So we're really present on LinkedIn. We have an amazing B2B team, and but you know, looking for leads is a process that just takes them a lot of time, right? Finding the right lead based on the features that we develop, So we have an agent that we have deployed to Slack, right? So it's controlled by Genius, but it's here in this Slack interface, which is the tool that we use to communicate with one another. And I can just go and talk to it, right? I can go, hi, Joanna. That's how I called her. I don't know why. No particular meaning. Um, we are launching the new version of Genius AI focusing on no-code agent builder. Would you find me leads in CEO, founder positions, uh, all marketing agencies, maybe like 100? I want this to be fast. So now let's see what happens. Um, I want to say something. Agents, the speed that they have might vary, right? If you're asking them to find leads on LinkedIn, what they do is that they do a LinkedIn search on your behalf, right? So they need time to go on LinkedIn, do the search, analyze the results, and come back to you, right? So she just replied, says, hey there, I'll start working on finding leads for CEO and founder position of marketing agencies on for about 100 leads. So she just replied. Now what she's doing, she is actually going on LinkedIn, so it's going to take a while for her to do all of this. Maybe around 5 minutes. Um, but she's actually taking an action, right? So if you compare these to what we were doing at Genius before, this is an AI that is actually doing something. Now, while she search, I can actually show you the zap. And this will be for the more technical views. But in order for you to do these more deep automations, you will need a little bit of Zapier integrations, let's say. So you can actually see it here. It's not a really complex workflow, I hope. But basically, what this does is that every time there is a message in Slack into my channel, which is called the IB2B team, it takes the conversation. The bot sees that if my message contains her keyword, because I have other people in the chat and I don't want her to get distracted. And then the agent that I've created gets contacted with my message from Slack. And then it launches a little tool that is called Fandom Buster. So Fandom Buster in this case is the tool that is helping me with the LinkedIn integration because it logs on my behalf on LinkedIn and it does the search. And then once it has the results, it just sends me the message that you saw earlier, which is, hey, I'm gonna do the search. So this is essentially how this agent works. It's really simple. It's a no-code type of interface. There might be some of you that might go, oh, this is already way over my head. The beauty of this is that on Zapier, you can also just use AI to tell exactly what you want. And you'll go, I want a tool that reads from a spreadsheet and then sends it to Genius AI. So when you do that, the assistant here is going to suggest you how the different blocks might be looking like. So in this case, it goes, every time there is a new spreadsheet row, then I will go Genius. You can perform an internet search with AI, or you can just send it to an agent. That's the other thing. We allow you to do an internet search with AI. So if you're familiar with, for example, tools like Perplexity, you don't need Perplexity, and Perplexity doesn't even have a Zap today. You can just use Genius in the internet search mode. And it's going to extract information for you. So in this example, right, I could have Genius do a search with AI for everything that I have on my spreadsheet, or I can just have it analyze each text on the spreadsheet and then write it back on the same spreadsheet. I can just go once you took a new spreadsheet row, just update it to add a new column, for example. So I can do all of that really easily by just putting all of these together. So this is the way this new form of integrations are sort of going to look like. To give you another example, let's take an example on instead of leads, and I think she's still doing her job. Let's go back. Yeah, she's still probably working. Another thing is, I don't know if you had the opportunity to chat with Jerry on WhatsApp. I have this amazing Jerry, which is available on WhatsApp. I can give you his phone number. I'll put it in the chat. It's just, let me, you can just go there and well message him on WhatsApp, and it's super cool. It's even better than ChatGPT because I was testing them both, and on Genius actually you have it on WhatsApp, and he can even read the images. So you see here, I read it. I gave it an image saying, "Hey, what is in here?" And it helps me with my. Actually, this is Catalan because sometimes I just don't understand what they talk about. If I go to ChatGPT, if you do the same, right? ChatGPT goes, "Hey, wait." If I go, "What do you see on this image?" It starts talking in Spanish because I'm in Spain, and then it goes, "Yeah, just download the app." Right. Well, here I integrated Jetty and I trained a Jetty on this entire webinar, right? On what we were going to talk about. So if I go, what's the webinar about? So in this case, I build a little zap in between WhatsApp that goes to what's the name? Genius, and then back to WhatsApp to send the reply. So again, that's super cool. That's another way you can sort of do this. And let me show you. Now, let's see if the lead here is done. She's not done yet. But we're also going to give you these zaps to just use for yourself. So, meaning you can just you don't have to build these apps, but we'll give you some that are going to be pre-built. Now, the reality is every company, every business, every person is different. You might not be using WhatsApp. You might be using another channel. You might not be using Google Sheets. So that's why we're giving you the building blocks so that you can sort of put them together in the way you want. I'll show you something else, which is, well, what is she still doing? Okay, she's still going for it. I can show you actually how I'll show you, I'll show you another one that we've just built so that you can see it. This is Airtable. This is a really cool tool that you can use to sort of have all sort of information. Some people use it even as a very basic CRM. See it as a little bit of Excel on steroids or a Google Sheets on steroids. So I gave it here the name of a client. I gave it their website. These are just Air Jordan. And I created an agent that what it does is it returns me a detailed product description of the product in the language that I want. And it performs a keyword search based on the top performing keywords at the moment in terms of SEO. It identifies for me all of the competitors. I'm wondering if I can just resize this. No, I can't. So, like, I'll give you an example. Like it's talking here about, let me find it, Rebook. It's talking about bands, but it's doing it by doing a research on the products that are popular from those companies now. So using search. It's also writing me an article that I can then publish in my WordPress. So with a click of a button, I can just come here and I have my little article already written with the images already in there, and I can just go and hit publish, right? So that's another thing that it does, and you can really train it on all of that. And in the meantime, Joanna's just finished with the leads. She just found 200 leads for me. I asked for 100. She found two. And she put them on a Google sheet. So I can just come here and done. Off you go. So I have everyone. I have their LinkedIn list. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit just because I don't want to message these people. And I'm going to replace this with Peter's. And I'm Peter Cal, whatever. And I'm just for the sake of, I'm gonna go. Hey, Jana, I just finished reviewing the list of leads. It looks great. Can you send to everyone um, happy new year 2025 from the Genius AI team, please? And I can just drop her the link again, just in case. So she's gonna now send a message saying, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let's give her just a few seconds, but I can actually just directly go and show you how these would look like. If I go in here and I click Peter, you'll see that, hey, she sent the message. She still sends it on my behalf, and he goes, Happy New Year from all of us at Genius AI. As we step into 25, we hope this year brings you success and joy, you know. So he did it, he wrote it for me, and he put it in the he looked for Peter in the Google sheet, and he just, so imagine now doing this to 1,000 leads, everyone with a customized message, because Genius is sorry, not Genius, but your agent is going directly into everyone's LinkedIn and just sees who they are, what is that they've posted lately, and all of that, right? So imagine doing this for 100, imagine this doing it for 1,000. You know, it's super, super, super cool. So that's essentially what agents allow you to do. I'm going to stop here because it's a really heavy demo, and I appreciate you for staying throughout all of it. What I wanted to say is this is coming soon. We are planning to release an early access version of this for a few of the users who have replied to our questionnaire. You still have time, if you haven't looked at the questionnaire, to reply to it today, because we're going to make our selection probably on Monday, and we're probably going to give access by the end of the week. But we're really trying to find people that either have great business use cases for agents and like have an idea of how they would implement this technology day one, or for people that are not so much interested on the agent side. They might be interested more in the prompt library or preloading products or creating an agent that is specific even for a very specific niche, not necessarily that it automates a lot of tasks, but it just provides knowledge. But it is also interested in trying how to white label it, how to create customization and things like that. So I'm going to make sure that before we leave, we actually also just drop the link to the questionnaire in the chat. So with that said, I'm sure that might have been a lot of questions in the chat. So I'm happy to sort of
Yeah.
take them all.
Yeah, do you want me
And
to go
just
roll up to the top and read them to you, Sergio?
uh yeah, sure.
Okay. So the first one is, how will email integrate with Genius? Is it just a Zap?
It's a Zap. There is a Zap for Gmail. There is a Zap for email in general. There is a Zap for SendGrid. There is a Zap for MailChimp. So yeah, it's a Zap.
Okay.
I have, for example, to give you an example, I have the same agent that does my LinkedIn leads. I have the same agent read my emails and sort of just give me a summary so I can answer them at the end. So it does that. There is also another really cool use case, which is, for example, you can connect it to Zendesk if you have a ticketing system or anything like that. So there are a lot of Zaps. It's just you have to look at them.
Yeah, just play around. I wonder if you could like set one up for your Facebook group and then it just give you a summary. Like, here were the questions. Yes.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's probably something I could do as well.
Fun. Okay. If we are selling a white label version, does Genius take care of the tech support?
It depends. That's a great question. Is you're not the first one asking this question. It really depends, because I'm gonna say something very mean, but I'm gonna say it. If the agent that you develop is terrible, or it has knowledge that we don't know about. That's not something we can control, right? Because we can, I'll give you an example. If your agent stops working, or if someone is unable to log in into your own version of Genius, that's our responsibility because we're managing the infrastructure for you. The moment someone has a problem with a Zap that you have created that has connected that with that other information, or the AI just hallucinates and starts lying about what you do and how well you do it, that's your fault.
Got it.
Exactly. No, it can't fix it. It can. We can't. Exactly. I would say can't fix stupid is the right angle. But everything else, yes. And we will always be. I want to say something, right? Which is we spent a year and a half building this tool, right? So, and you have no idea. I don't need either because I joined to support Peter on the development side, how much time it takes to find a good developer to build an AI platform, right? So the fact that you just get all of these building blocks and you can just use them for yourself, but not only that, AI is evolving at a speed that there is no way that you're going to be able to stay on top of it and evolve it every time unless you have a team of AI experts, right? So we're going to keep building these building blocks to allow people that do want to white label it to really just use the latest technology.
Yeah, love that. Okay, another question. Is there an upload limit for training the brain? Because she's had problems in the past uploading 30 plus PDFs into the product training it.
The brain is much larger. Um, it it's hard because so there is no limit per se on the brain. Like the the thing is that of course it really depends on the kind of information that you put on the brain. If it's information that it's contrasting with each other, or you put together all the new information, that might cause some underperformance, right? Because then it won't know, okay, do I use this or do I use this version? Both could be true, you know?
Okay, but they can upload as much as they want.
Yeah.
Can we train AI agents on a TikTok handle or maybe links to profiles so it would learn from the actual video content?
Yeah. Yeah. So there are apps that you can use to just I tell you what it is one thing that I've done, right? Because is the way that works best, right? You've seen that when I was showing you the LinkedIn leads one, what I was doing is I was asking to find the leads, but then I asked her to write them on an Excel. The reason why, or on a Google Sheet, the reason why I do that is I never trust the AI going fully on autopilot, right? Like it happened sometimes it might happen that okay, she's looking for business agencies, but the business agency that is looking for is too big, there is no way I'm going to reach out to them, so sometimes what I'll do is just fix it a little bit. What I found useful is do the same when it's importing data from social media. So basically let it do that. It takes something from TikTok, it let the agent put it on a spreadsheet. You give it a quick look just to make sure that you do actually want it to learn on that, and then you go, okay, based on all of this, just train another agent. What I would do is I would try see agents as if they were your AI workforce, right? Don't have an agent that is good at everything. Have an agent that is really special for that particular task. Like in our team right now, we probably have 5 or 6 agents, and the one that takes care of copywriting doesn't work by itself, but it works with the agent that helps me with the SEO or publishing the article on. So that's super important. In this way, you can go, okay, it takes the information. So you have an AI that takes the information from TikTok and extracts it and summarize it. And then you have another one that learns that information so it can write you some script outlines, for example. After training an AI chatbot, can we install it on a website to act as a customer service agent? Yes. Their approach is kind of different because the way it is presented is not a price per user seat. It's going to be more like a price for per 1,000 messages or something like that. And it's simply because of the fact that you might have a website that has like 1 million users and it would bring us to the verge of bankruptcy. So we do need to take into account the volume of messages that you're getting. So when you're embedding it on a website, because of the fact that you are not buying a Genius seat for all of your customers that reach out for customer support, that is charged on volume.
Would messaging so many people at once get you flagged?
Um, that's a great question. It really depends. So the way I'm using, you saw in that Zap that I was using a little tool called Phantom Buster. And that's because LinkedIn doesn't have APIs for messaging. So what I'm essentially doing is kind of on a gray area. But what Phantom Buster does is, let's say I have to message 300 leads. It messages around 150 a day. So you might have it that it does it throughout 3 days instead of doing it all at once. And also between each lead, it waits for around 2 minutes. So that's also why when I'm saying, oh, it's going to take her time, is it does take her time because it does it as if a human would it in that case. Could we then purchase a new seat for each website we put it on? No, because it would still be per message in that case, right? What would happen is you have your seat, and so you have your team plan, what we're calling the team/agency plan, and then what you do is with that plan, you're going to be getting a fixed amount of messages. Think about SendGrid. I'm not sure if you're familiar, or any emailing platform that usually gives you the seat, and then for anything embedded is going to give you a set number of messages that you can send within the month, and then everything else is going to be an extra you're going to have to pay for. So let's say, any number that I'm saying is just an example, it's not final. But let's say we give you 1,000 messages with your subscription. The moment you get to 1,001, that one additional message is going to be then charged at the end of the month.
Okay. That was all the ones I saw in the chat. Are there any other questions that you guys want to drop down there? In the meanwhile, Sergio, would you suggest for people to kind of get an idea on how they can use this? Like if they don't have Zapier, like have a quick look at Zapier and see how
Yeah,
many.
have a quick look at Zapier. There are a lot of free, there are a lot of Zaps that you can already build on the free version.
Yeah.
Listen, the reality, even myself, I struggled finding ideas of what, every day we sit down with Peter and go, what would we build an agent for? Right? Because it's just there are so many building blocks
It's mind
that
blowing.
there is a little bit too much. I would say there one thing would be, yeah, try to come up with ideas, and also try to come up with ideas that maybe you're already an expert prompter, right? Is there anything that you can go to just resell those agents, right? We're going to be the only platform right now, from what I've been seeing, that does allow you to monetize on your agents, right? So you can essentially create hundreds and hundreds of agents and then just go and monetize them elsewhere, right? And the other thing that I do want to say is, eventually we're planning to release at the second moment a little marketplace, so that if you don't have customers that you want to sell agents to, you can just put them on the marketplace. And if there is someone, oh, I'm looking for a good copywriter that publishes on WordPress, I'm going to publish it on Genius using the Genius tech. So I build it on Genius and I can publish it on Genius, and I'm going to charge it for $20 per month, right? So you can do that too. Can we get more info about APIs in Genius? So that's a great question. So right now, the only ways to interface with our API will be Zapier for now. And there are going to be around 4 blocks on let's call them 4 blocks. One is to send your request to the agent, to any agent on your team. The second one is to add a user to your subscription. That's when you're selling a seat. So that's very useful if, for example, you want to connect GHL and Genius, and the moment someone does checkout, or Shopify and Genius, or did I say already GHL? Did I make the GHL example? I made it, then it's fine. I'm not going to make it again. So there is going to be that one, the internet search, and there is going to be another one, which is going to be a trigger, which is every time someone messages, not on Slack, not on WhatsApp, but when they message, let's say on Genius itself, If the AI needs, he has to understand, he has to use one of the zaps, he goes and he uses it. So right now, we're not going to be giving those as APIs. We're going to be giving those only as zaps, but we do see, because the structure is the same, it's just that for the APIs, we're going to have to build a little bit more of documentation that is a little bit more technical. Right now, we're going to be releasing our API through the zaps, but then in future, we're going to be making these available via API as well. Cost for agency, cost per user, how will our cost accumulate? So the cost, what I can say is, I can tell you how the costs are going to accumulate, but I cannot tell you the costs because it's still under discussion. But what I can say is there is going to be a fixed monthly cost for the agency version. That gives you access to all of the building blocks, unlimited agents, and all of the integration that your ward can desire. Then every time you add a user seat, that comes with the individual user personality, the individual user platform, the individual user access to all of the agents, the individual access for all of the users to have their own Zapier on your agent. That is going to be, of course, a way lower cost than the platform itself. It's just going to be the cost of the seat. So you will have that fixed monthly or annual cost of the agency version plus the fixed monthly or annual cost of a user seat. If a user cancel because they say, oh, Genius was part of a bigger subscription they canceled it from, you can either cancel the seat or you can just reassign that seat and someone else is gonna use it. We don't collect credit cards. We don't collect anything from your users. You're just gonna be able to bring your Stripe, bring your everything, and just trigger a user seat when someone makes a purchase. So those would be the two, and then the only other one cost would be messages, but only in the case of the agent being embedded on your website, not in the case of it being used on Genius.
If you created multiple agents, could you sell them separately or would you have to sell them as a
you can sell them separately, like in that approach that I was showing you when you embed it or iframe it. You can just decide to, oh, I just want to sell these agent, right? Actually, ourselves, we've been running a lot of ads to see. We've created like 28. We create one agent a day with Peter and just see which one sort of goes on with ads, and we just sell that agent. So it's really fun because it allows you to reiterate in a way that wasn't possible even for myself being an expert coder before we actually build this solution.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so we've got some hands up. So Ingrid, go ahead.
Sorry, I got kicked off. Our Wi-Fi is really shoddy right now. So I got kicked off right when you were asking questions that I had asked. And I'll go back and look, but just quickly, I lost my train of thought. Oh my God.
If it could be trained on video content. So
he said yeah, that was the most important one.
An agent. So
but it was
going to pull the information, put it into a spreadsheet, and then your next agent is basically going to put the information into the thing for you. Is that right?
So Sergio? We have to go through like the example of what the LinkedIn example, Sergio, that you did.
Yeah.
I was asking that question specifically when you were building the Sergio AI 2, where you gave it information. So could I put in our TikTok handle at that point and it's actually going to read the video content for the information? You will
still have to give it a zap. You will still have it to integrate it there with your LinkedIn and so on.
Okay. Thank you.
And then Jenna's got a question, but I want to ask you a quick one first because everybody here has Genius. If somebody gets the agency version, is it separate from our regular Genius?
The agency version is separate. The agency version is separate, but you can convert your old Genius account into the new agent. Sorry, what did I say? I said it right. It's just that there is my daughter in the background and I hear a lot of voices and I'm losing my train of thoughts as well. What I wanted to say is you can just use the regular Genius for now, and then you're going to be able to convert your Genius in the agency version, and your account is just going to become embedded into you. Like you're not going to having to pay for the agency version an additional seat. Your agency version is going to have the seat included.
So your
Like that
agency
one seat is
version
included.
would be trained on what you already have inside of Genius. It's just gonna suck it up.
For that, you would still have to create an agent with that information because it is still trained on you and your personality and everything, but not the agents that you're going to be giving to others, for example, or that you're going to be using for the business, right?
So all the prompts and all that stuff was just kind of over in that other little menu. So we'll still be able to find everything that we have. It'll just feel a little different in the agency version.
Yeah, exactly. It'd still be there.
Okay.
But it's definitely a more complete offering, right? We suggest this offering for anyone who wants to do business, like serious business automation, right?
Yeah.
And you do need to have a little bit of a skill set on connecting things together.
Oh no, don't die on us now, Sergio. You better find that charger, boy. While he's finding his charger, I'm sure that's what he's doing if he doesn't get kicked off. I'd love you guys to just drop in the chat, like, what is the most exciting thing to you right now? Like, what can you imagine having an agent do? Or like, what Zap would you set up? My mind's already blown on like 100 ideas. I'm already like, Facebook groups, like scan the Facebook group for questions and send me Excel spreadsheet, and then have another agent trained on what I would say, message them all the answer. Like, what? Hello? I wouldn't have to do that anymore. That's so crazy, right? Like
That's
million
really cool.
yeah, like my brain just exploded, right? So
Same. I can't even catch up. Hey Jess, how is that going to work if we just bought the annual?
That I don't know yet. I was going to ask Sergio that too. I just wanted to let Jenna get her question out first. Sergio, are you plugged in?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I was just asking everybody to throw their favorite, like most exciting idea that they want to have an agent do for them in the comments. Okay, Jenna, go ahead. Yeah, like a recruiter agent. Like imagine that, you guys. I know a lot of you are like
a recruiter agent is definitely possible. You know, I built it myself where you have someone that just uses the same LinkedIn type of approach, but now you have a job and is going to look and see, okay, I'm looking at all of these people on LinkedIn. These three are the one you should be interviewing. Yeah, that you can definitely do.
Could it do something like that on Instagram too? Like I'm just out of curiosity.Uld you say like search all Instagram accounts for, you know, the word coach in their name and send them a message?
I haven't found a good zap to send messages yet on Instagram. Not with a private account. But I think we're going to be bringing it on Genius anyway, because Genius has already an integration with Instagram. So eventually that could probably be possible.
Okay, I'll zip. I'm sorry. My brain just exploded, you guys. Jenna, go ahead.
No, that's a great question because that's actually one of the things I was thinking of too. Yeah, like Instagram, Facebook groups, like I can't wait to see just the scanning abilities and then what we can do with that too. Oh, so much easier. But I was going to ask, Sergio, I'm going to borrow your brain. Is it possible to use to create worksheets? So I know I can always get like the information for the worksheets, but I would love to be able to create like academic or like digital workbooks to go along with a course. Is any part of that ever possible?
That's a good question. That's one of those things that would make me stare at the screen for a while. I think if you find the right sources and the right way, probably yes. Again, it's like building blocks. So it's even for me, it's like about finding how to connect them together. The good thing is when this is going to release after early access, the ones of you who have created agents and want to give the templates out so that people can just start building with a click, you will be able to do. But also we are going to be giving you some made for you agents that do some of the most asked things. Like the one that you saw for leads on LinkedIn is going to be one of the ones that is going to be available. But also we have the one that allows you to connect it on WhatsApp, like the one that I've sent you via phone number. So all of those, we're going to be giving you a template. You'll just be going to be able to go click it. It's going to go to your Zapier account and it's going to give you all of the building blocks already there. The only thing you're going to have to do is link the various accounts because those might change, right? But I think the big business opportunity, if you ask me, is really if you do have an angle for prompting, you really understand AI and you really understand how this technology works, there are a lot of business that have no idea on how they can automate. And if they could automate even one tedious task they do each day, or a team member does for them each day, you'll be saving them lots of time, and time is money at the end of the day. So like that's what we're seeing even in the industry. If you just Google, that's kind of where we're seeing the opportunity being.
So one thing that I have in mind is, so I work with online educators in one area of their business besides just teaching. Another income stream for them is selling digital products to other teachers or to homeschoolers. And they just don't know how to make the designs, or they don't know how to make the questions. So I have been training my co-pilot to analyze some information and come up with new questions, similar questions. And then I'm thinking I'll be able to link the questions to a template, designed version. Like I'll be able to just take from a spreadsheet, here's 10 questions, put it in the blank spots.
Yeah, that
I
you
think,
should be able to do. You should be able to do this probably with a Canva template. Like if you wanted
okay,
to have
okay,
something that is really graphical, I think I've seen it there where you could do it that way.
cool.
Another way you could do it is it's something that I found earlier when I was building my WordPress Genius that just publishes article is there is the way for you to connect Google Docs and then just ask the AI to give you instead of just a graphic, ask it to give you like a website. And because Google supports like HTML, it's going to return you a rich graphic, you know. So that's another way you could do it, and and you can also print it.
Right. Okay, cool. Awesome.
All right. I mean, yeah. So I think that's it for today. I think we ran a little bit late. So again, as a recap, I'm not sure, Jessica, if at some point you put the questionnaire in the chat or if I should. I'll put it here if you want early access. The early access is not guaranteed simply because of the fact that we really want this to be an early access where we're focusing on you trying it. And of course, the early access is free. I just want to say that. I hope it's obvious, but so here's the questionnaire, and just tell us what you would build, tell us how you would build it, if you, and just compile it. And again, we're not gonna pick everyone. We're gonna pick a small selection so that we can really dedicate time to you and see what you would build. How long before it will be generally available? We're pushing for February 1st. Because I like to always push something at the beginning of the month, unless February 1st is a Friday, because that's a terrible day to be pushing anything. In that case, it will go to the Monday. I had bad experiences in doing things on Fridays and have my Saturday completely gone, and sometimes even my Sunday. So, but it would be the first week of February.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, this is really, really exciting. I think everybody's super stoked on what's to come and what we can do and what we can create. There was a question, maybe you answered it. No, you were gone for a minute. What do people do that already have an annual? How do you have a plan for how that could be converted if they upgrade?
I mean, the thing is, yeah, I mean, it's straightforward, right? The price, of course, of the agency plan is a little bit higher than our standard price. So what you could do is that you could give we can give you your annual sort of back as credits, and whatever amount covers for the price of the agency plan, we're gonna use it towards giving you time on the new plan, or you can just we can just convert that into an annual for the agency plan. So let's say it covered. I'm making an example again. Every time I'm just making an example. Let's say the annual covers for the price of 6 months of the agency plan. I'm not saying that's the case. We're just gonna be giving you 6 months. Or if you want to go and just go, hey, I just want to go back into the monthly, we're gonna be giving you the monthly, and we're gonna spend those credits up until whatever it was the amount that you had paid for the annual. Of course, if it was on a discount, that amount is gonna be smaller. If it was gonna be on an annual, that amount usually it looks better. Sorry, if it was without a promotion, it would have been better because it covers more time.
And one last one. Somebody's saying if there's more questions about this in the next couple of days, what I'll do is I'll just make a big like agency Q&A post. I'll tag it to the
Yeah,
top
we're
of
going to be publishing this recording, so probably you can also put it in the comments of this recording. And yeah, I mean, we are excited to get your questions. We're excited to get your idea. Listen, is the questions and the ideas are really what we need right now. So bring them in, and we're really just stoked for you guys to start the early access at late next week.
Sergio, is custom avatars coming soon?
Custom avatar, as in like having your own video.
Yes.
That's not something that is in the plans right now, but there is one cool thing that I did build with the building blocks, and is you can have your own Genius agent and your own photo twin, or the one that you can create on Genius, and you can link it to something like agent, and that does allow you to then have someone that speaks in your tone of voice and pass it to your AI twin that already looks like you, and then it moves it thanks to agent. So that's how I did it, for example.
Agent is an app or a platform?
Agent is a platform, is a website. Yeah.
So like 11
So,
Labs.
yeah. So yeah, exactly. So basically what they do there is just you take a short recording of yourself, and then by giving it a script, you're able to have an AI that speaks. Like you will have like a really good portrait video of you just presenting. Taking the initial video takes time for it to be good quality, but if you link agent and Genius together, you get really good results. I still have to publish a video because I wasn't able to get a video of myself that I liked, because it takes time, and probably it takes a haircut before I can actually do that. But you can basically just automate all of your videos. Like what I had created was something that goes into Google, takes the most trending educational content, creates a script in my tone of voice on Genius. So these two pieces are done on Genius. And then the third piece is you send it to agent, and it just creates a video of you talking about that news, for example.
Will there be any kind of support, Sergio, for some of us who aren't quite as great of linking and stacking stuff together to help us really navigate that?
We're going to be giving some ready templates, and on those ready templates, we will offer support, and we will be able to cover them on the weekly calls. And of course, if you have any question in terms of, I try to connect these two things together, because sometimes it's a little bit of a MacGyver type of situation. You're going to be taking two things together and just you're going to see if they work or not. We're going to be able to offer some basic support for sure. But then a lot of that will depend on what plan do you have on the other platform, how is it integrated, etc. But on the templates that we are going to be providing, we're going to be offering full support.
So is there a possibility for us to know in advance the minimum level that we should be at, whatever we're stacking? So like Zapier, is the free level enough, or do we need to get a paid level?
The free level will be enough for basic usage, because I think it includes like 100 or 200 zaps. It really depends. The other building blocks, right? Like, for example, we know we're going to be giving you the LinkedIn lead and outreach agent, right? That requires no level of anything, right? We cannot give it to you for all of the 3,000 integrations that are going to be available, but for the ones that we will be giving you templates for, we're going to be giving you some indication of, okay, this is what you will need in order for this. Like you will have guidelines, sort of videos that are going to walk you through, okay, this is how you set up this agent with this template.
So what you're saying is like what the template that you're talking about is like what you just asked in the LinkedIn thing. That's a template. That question
will be a template. Yes,
I see. Okay, thanks, Sergio.
I see Jenna has one more question.
Yeah, one more quick question. Is it possible to have an agent automatically take a video recording in Zoom and take the transcript and do something with it?
Yes. I don't remember if there is. I don't remember if Zoom auto transcribes the meeting or not. Maybe it does.
It
I
does
don't
if you preset the meeting to that.
know. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably that would be the best strategy, because in that way you don't have to connect it so that it does the transcription later. So you could have it so that it does, like what I would do honestly is Zoom, Genius, ask to Genius what it has to do with the transcript, and then put the transcript where you want that to be, right? If you want to be on a Google Doc, if you want that to be emailed to you, etc., that you can do that.
But
Yeah, because I use all my video transcripts to put into Genius right now to say, what should I do for follow-up, for notes, for further activities. So if I
Oh
can do
yeah,
that
you can automate
automatically
all
for
of
other
that,
people.
right? You can have it.
Yeah.
The beauty of it is you can have it so that you don't even have to ask the agent. The moment the video transcript comes in from Zoom, is just going to do it for you.
Yeah, perfect.
how
Cool.
fun
Thank
that
you.
an agent that uses your transcript breaks it down into like 30 days of content, creating, the copy for your carousels, for your stories, like scripts for reels. Like, then you just wake up and you have a full content library of stuff you've already said. Like, whoa, guys, this is wild. Get ready to not have to exist anymore.
No, it's get ready to create other stuff.
Look like this in bed every day, like
Yeah.
me. Army of agents. Okay, friends, I think that's about it. Sergio, any last things you want to say?
Sorry, I was messaging.
Hire an agent to do diapers, actually. I
The don't give it hands, otherwise he's gonna hand a gun. That's my thinking right
I'll
now.
have multiple fingers changing
Don't give it
diapers.
arms. When they give it arms, it's too late. So no, not really. I hope you guys are as excited as we are. Peter is really excited. Like, he was just messaging me, "Oh, I just made this agent." And he's like, does it sound like it's AI?" So it is really exciting, the possibilities there are. Start thinking, start sharing your ideas in the community. I'll try to be more active in the community these days as well, and so that I can answer your question. And thank you so much for your time. And I'll see you, for the ones of you that are going to participate in the early access, otherwise next Friday.
Awesome. Will we have separate meetings for early access people to?
Yeah, for sure we will.
Right. Okay, cool. Okay, guys, have an amazing day. Amazing
Yeah,
weekend.
have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.